Hey everyone, Jay here, and it's time for another Python lab exercise. We've been talking about arrays, and oftentimes we're going to use loops with arrays. So it's important that we take a second look at loops within loops. We're not using arrays this time. We're going to separate the two ideas out in our head this time. Last time we did use an array. This time we're just going to look at the loops by themselves. And I've got three loops, all a loop within a loop within a loop. Each loop does the same thing, so I can simplify this example as much as possible. Each loop has a counter that's just going to count from 0 to 9. Go to the next loop, count from 0 to 9, go to the next loop, count from 0 to 9, and in the innermost loop, we're going to access those 0 to 9 values and output each one from the outer to the inner. So it's kind of like maybe a stopwatch. We're only counting 0 to 9 though, because if I was counting all of the 60 seconds and 60 minutes and 24 hours of a day, it would take quite a while to run this in its entirety. As it is, it takes a good 30 seconds to run just like this. However, we'll take a look at the output in a moment. But I want to look at the code a little bit because loops in Python they are a little bit difficult to follow because of the spacing in Python and how Python does not use curly braces around a loop structure like a lot of other languages do. Um, so the while loop, we have to make sure that everything is indented properly. So I have my main function. Everything within the main function is indented one time. And then I have my first while loop. Everything within that is indented one more time. Within that, I have my second while loop. Everything within that is indented one more time. My third while loop, and everything within that is indented one more time. So we only have the indentations to follow to know what is part of one loop and what's part of another loop. So it's kind of easy because all the spacing is right, and Python does force us to use well-typed code. Uh, However, if you're used to using curly braces like I am, or if you're just not picking up on the spacing in here, it does get pretty difficult. Some IDEs will actually draw a little line from the beginning of an indentation to the end of an indentation. They do that with loops and functions and all that. VS Code often does that. So that really does help. It'll draw the line from the first to the last line of that section. Right? If you type your code incorrectly, the line will appear correctly, and that can seriously help you out. But again, I just want to point this part out, and then we'll run the code, burn about 60 seconds of YouTube time, and look at the output of this. So I'm going to clear my output and show us that part of the screen here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run, and you'll see what this is going to do. Zoom or scroll. That's as far as I can. Okay, here we go. It's going to count all the way to 9 and then stop at 999, starting from 000 to 999. One thing that you'll notice, at least in Thani, if I scroll all the way back up to the top, I ran out of room. Right? There's 6 or 5 lines short of having enough room. So that's how much room we have here. And actually, in my end here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's kind of exactly how much space I put in my goodbye line at the end. Let's try this again. 999, and if I scroll back up, 001. So Thani provides me exactly 999 lines to work with. So that's kind of a cool thing that I just found out just right now, you and me together. Pretty cool. Anyway, this is 3 loops, right, all inside of each other, trying to keep track of all the values in here. Once again, the outer loop starts with I as the iterator or the incrementer, however you want to look at that. And then I've alphabetically continued on from there with the other loops. That helps me keep track of which variable goes to which loop. If I name them something else, that word might be more descriptive, but it may be difficult to remember which level of nested loops I'm in. It's quite common practice to start with I and then alphabetically move from there. If you go alphabetically, you don't skip any letters. It's very easy to know, oh, I'm at K, IJK, it's the 3rd loop in the series, and I know exactly where I am. Very easy. You could do I1, I2, I3. You could number them that way if you wanted to. I guess that would be just as easy. However, you have a lot of I's then to keep track of. But in any case, triply nested loops in Python, very easy, but I do want to make sure everyone sees the structure and gets comfortable with that, especially if we're using arrays. We're going to be looking through a lot of arrays now that we have arrays. And so here's multiple loops. That's it for this lab exercise. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.